I'm gonna show you if I can beat Christian Pulisic's bot in chess, which has 1500 elo. So let's get right into it. I'm playing this with white pieces. First I just to move my pawn to e4. It moved its pawn to e6. So now I can move my pawn to d4 controlling the center. It moved its pawn to b6. So now I should move my pawn to d5. It moved its bishop to b7. So I should capture its pawn with mine. It recaptured my pawn with its pawn. So now I can capture its queen with mine and prevent it from castling. It captured my queen with its king. So now I should check the game with the bishop to g6. It blocked the check with its bishop. So I should capture it. It recaptured my bishop with its king. So I should move my pawn to f3. It moved its knight to d7. So now I should develop my knight to e2. It moved its knight to f6, threatening my pawn on e4. So I should develop my knight to c3. And now also this knight to d4. It moved its pawn to e5, threatening my knight. Should move my knight to f5 check, which is a great move. It moved its king to d8. So now in this position, I should capture its pawn on g7 with my knight. It moved its rook to g8, threatening my knight. So I should retreat my knight to f5. It moved its rook to e8. So now I should also develop my bishop to c4. It moved its rook to g2, capturing my pawn with its rook. So now I should castle to the king's side. It moved its pawn to a6. So now I should move my bishop to f1, threatening this rook. It moved its rook to g5. So now I should again move my bishop to h3. It moved its rook to h5, threatening my bishop. So I should move my bishop to g4, threatening this rook. It moved its rook to g5. So now I think that I should just ignore a lot of these rook attacks, because you see that will not obviously capture my bishop with its rook, or else its rook will easily get captured. So I should move my pawn to h4, threatening its rook. It retreated its rook to g8. Now I should move my knight to h6. It moved its rook to f8. So now I think that I should capture this knight with my bishop. It recaptured my bishop with its knight. So now I should try to attack this knight, because it is being pinned by my rook to the king. So I should move my rook to d2. And now I think that I should move my knight to f5, which is a great move. It moved its king to e8. So now I should move my rook to d1, which is again a great move. It moved its bishop to c8. Now it is protecting this knight, which I was just about to capture. But now that is still a good move. But now I can easily move my knight to g7, doing a fork. It moved its king to e7. Now I should move my knight to d5 with checking the king. It moved its king to d8. I can again check the king with my knight, capturing this rook. It recaptured my knight with its pawn. So now it has double pawns. So I should take advantage of that. So I should move my knight to b4. It moved its pawn to c5, threatening my knight. So now I should move my knight to a6, capturing its pawn. It moved its rook to f7, protecting this knight. So now I think that I should just move my knight to b8. It moved its king to c7. So I should capture its knight with mine. It recaptured my knight with its bishop. So now c5 will capture its bishop. It will recapture. I will capture its rook and it will capture mine. So I think that I should just do it. I captured it. Check the king. It recaptured my rook with its rook. So I should capture it and check the king. It moved its king to d7, capturing my rook. So now I should move my pawn to c3, king d2. It moved its pawn to b4, so I should capture it with mine. It recaptured my pawn with its pawn, so now I should move my pawn to a4. It used art to to capture my pawn, so I should capture it. It moved its king to c6, so I should also move my king to c3. It moved its pawn to h5, so I should move my king to b4, a4 to my pawn, my king to b5, pawn to a5. And now, I think that I should just move my pawn to a6 check. It moved its king to a7 as I expected, so now I can move my king to a5. It moved its king to a8. So now I think that I should move my king to b6. It moved its king to b8. So now I think that I should move my pawn to f4 because if it will capture, then I'll check the king with pawn to a7. Then it can move its king to a8. Then it will push its pawn slowly. So I should not do it. But what I should do for this move is that I should just move my king to c6 and now my king to b6. It moved its king to a8. So now I should move my king to b6 and now check. But now it moved its king to a8. So now I think that my only option is to leave this pawn and to move my king to c6, my king to d6, and I should capture this pawn. Then I should advance my pawn to f4, this pawn to e5, f5. Now I should move for my king to f6, my pawn to e6, my king to f7, my pawn to e7, and now I can promote my pawn to a queen. Now I should move for my king to g7, pawn f6, f7. Now I can promote my pawn to a queen. So let's do checkmate. I can move my queen to f1, queen d1 check, queen c8 check, queen d1 check, and now finally I can do checkmate with queen to a8. So let's review the game. That is analyzing the game.
Some good positional play let you seize the advantage in the middle game.
So let's see which moves we made. None of us made any brilliant move. It didn't make any great move, but I made two. It made 36 best moves, while I made 37. So I made one mistake, it also made one. I made two mistakes, it didn't make any. I didn't make any blunder in which it made one. So let's see our opening, middle game, and end game. In the opening, we both did good. In the middle game, I did great, while it did excellent, and then the game I did best, while it also did excellent. So for the ELO, it did 1550 more than its usual, and I did 1800. So now for the accuracy, it did 82.2%, I did 87.7%. So let's start the reviewing.
Strong players throughout history have played this move. Gary Kasparov, Magnus Carlsen, Bobby Fischer, and you. This move prepares for their bishop to join the action. You're going to end up losing a pawn. White will be winning a pawn with that fork. That pawn was yours for the taking. You had an opportunity to capture a free pawn. You capitalized on the mistake and are now clearly winning. Doubled rooks on an open file is a great strategy. Nice fork, you'll be winning material. Nice vision spotting and capturing that vulnerable rook. You captured that free pawn. You captured a free pawn. Excellent teamwork between your pieces, leading to a ladder mate.
So I hope that you liked the video. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Please comment how you thought the video was, and have a nice day.